It's Thursday, October 4th, 2007, and you're watching The Ointment. I'm Steve Tatham, and I want to let you know that today is Depression Screening Day. So I urge you, if you think this might apply to you, go out and get yourself a test. You know, I was going to do that this morning, but I just couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. Our top story in political news, George Bush has vetoed a bill which would give poor and near-poor children health insurance. He says, if these kids want federal health insurance, they can go out and get themselves elected president. In other political news, Michael McCasey, who's George Bush's nominee to be the next Attorney General, turns out to have an interesting resume. He used to represent a dial-a-porn company. And McCasey, this guy, if he's a nominee of George Bush, I say these pornographers have just as much of a right as anybody else to mediocre representation. Actually, it's an interesting change of pace because these days, Republicans normally aren't the lawyers for dial-a-porn, they're usually the customers. A new study reveals that there is much waste in the travel budgets of U.S. politicians. It turns out that members of Congress and other federal employees waste a lot of money when they travel, to the tune of $146 million, according to this study. And I have a solution because I'm all about solving problems here. Next time these people go anywhere, let's give them a one-way ticket. Congress is really clamping down on the Pentagon. They have voted to seek a plan from the Pentagon for what lies ahead in Iraq. They're not telling the Pentagon what to do. They just want to know what their intentions are. And it was a bipartisan vote, 377 to 46. And the shame in this vote, for me, is that unlike other bills, it's too bad they couldn't make this one retroactive to 5 years ago. And in other political news, Mitt Romney, who of course is seeking the Republican nomination for the presidency, passed an interesting milestone yesterday when he aired his 10,000th campaign advertisement. 10,000 ads, mostly in Iowa and New Hampshire and other early voting states. In fact, you know it's out of control when you go to Iowa and you see Mitt Romney on the side of a milk carton. And finally, in automotive news, blind people are complaining about hybrid automobiles because they are so quiet, they don't know when they're coming. So if you're blind and you're crossing the street, a Prius is very dangerous. But let's look on the bright side. If you're blind, you can't see how ugly it is. That's The Ointment for another day. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Steve Tatham, and that's news. Catch you tomorrow, everybody.